So welcome back, everyone. We're live on Facebook, so hi to everybody out there. My next guest is a newbie. I have with me Susan Pintel. She's the owner of PINTEL Family Law. And I have to ask you, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, but what makes a successful relationship with your attorney?
So Carol, I've been doing family law for 17 years. That basically means I handle people's divorces, custody issues. We're talking parenting time, spousal maintenance, child support, all the fun stuff, okay? I think that the most amazing clients that I have are the ones that are prepared. So if you're doing a divorce, come with a asset and debt spreadsheet, okay? Don't tell me like I think or I don't know. Take the time to put that together so I can help walk you through what your settlement is going to look like. It's okay to tell me your spouse, has separate accounts, you don't know, you don't have access, but just be aware of where they are so I can issue subpoenas or serve discovery and help you, get through the process. If it's a custody issue, a lot of people are, I haven't seen my kids, and I need to know when was the last time, under what circumstances. I mean, do you text, do you email, are they in state? A lot of people just say it's been a long time or I don't know, and what I really do as an attorney is from day one, I try to get the client in the mindset of you need factual information because that's what the judge is going to want to hear, and that's what really makes a successful case. From day one, I'm going to work with you to explain why I need certain things from you, and it's going to be about strategy and making you comfortable. And I get a lot of clients who tell me, you told me more in half an hour than I got from my last attorney when I had my original case, because I also handle modifications, not just brand new cases.
Well, and that's a question that I was going to ask you. So one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to open up the lines to the audience because you want to offer a 1-hour virtual session to people that are calling in. So our number here is 602-277-5369 and toll free is 1-866-536-1100. And I'm going to let everyone call throughout the rest of the show. Just call behind the scenes and then I'll get you connected with her within the week. Now, what I do want to talk about is something that you said that you were really excited about, that you wanted to talk about. So let's hear what you're doing right now.
So I'm putting together one-on-one sessions and group sessions to educate people about community law and basically how that will strengthen their marriage and make it more successful. I always get people at the divorce stage where they say, but Susan, I was the one that was paying the mortgage, why should she get credit or why should he get credit? And I always have to laugh a little bit and say, but when you marry, you and your spouse form the community, and that's what community property is about. And so I also get the other side where people say, but I never wanted that RV, or I never wanted to take that $20,000 trip, and why should I have to now pay half of that credit card bill that's still outstanding? And from the judge's perspective, and that's what people need to understand, is that's what a marriage is. You're in there together, and so if there's a decision that you don't like that your spouse is taking, you're going to live with that. And so I really want to, more than ever, because I've gotten so many people now who are like, hey Susan, you helped my friend or my colleague get a divorce. Can you help me kind of do this better so that I don't have to go through that? There's a joke that says love is grand and divorce is 100 grand. And I try to keep people, well beneath that. But I also do prenuptials because I think it's important, especially with people getting married later in life, that you've worked really hard. You want to share your life with somebody, but I also think that it's important for people to really go into this marriage with the same kind of financial ideals and have a plan.
So it sounds really great. I mean, to do that would be fantastic if everybody would go take the class and feel better and know what you need to know beforehand. But for the millions of us, including me, that haven't done that or taken the class, how long is the process going to take?
So I joke with people, you're going to be with me for at least 24 months. It's, what are we having for Thanksgiving this year, next year? It just takes that long to get from, your first hearing, which is just the court's like, hi, how are you, what can I do to help, to, you might have a motion for temporary orders if you need some spousal maintenance or child support or a parenting plan that you need like within 30 days of when I file to get you through this. It's really, on average 24 if we have to go to trial. And the judges will tell you on day one, please try to settle this. Please keep, lines open with your attorneys, because what you really get is a stranger, the judge, okay, who's going to decide your life, and they, in Maricopa County, have 3 hours on average, and that's how long you get, and I'm gonna get half the time, opposing party's gonna get half the time, and so you really are better off if you are able to at least go to mediation, or, just do informal negotiations between attorneys, it's so much better.
Now, her phone number is 480-397-2261. Now, for texting, if you like to text, it's 520-355-4483. Her website is PINTELLAW.com. That right now is down, but it's gonna be up, so I'm not gonna say it as many times as that phone number, which is 480-397-2261, and she does a free 30-minute phone consultation with people. And right now, we've got our lines open here for everyone to get entered in. It's a 1-hour virtual consult with her. Maybe you're thinking about getting a divorce. Maybe you don't understand anything about it and you want to have a conversation about that. Anything that you may have questions on. She says, get in front of it. Not at the end, but get in the information before the divorce happens. So call in here to get that virtual 1-hour consult. It's 602-277-5369, and I'm gonna let everyone call throughout the rest of the show for that. So what if somebody needs some kind of court order, like you said, as soon as possible?
Yeah, so I'll tell you, Carol, it's really important so that you understand when you file for divorce, you start with a petition. But if you're a stay-at-home mom, for instance, and your spouse is the one that's bringing in the money, you're gonna want some spousal maintenance, you're gonna want some money coming in, you're gonna want some child support. So along with the petition, I will file a motion for temporary orders. Now, again, you have to be prepared, because once I get that date, the judge doesn't want me to continue it out. So that's what I mean, be prepared, come with your asset and debt, and then that way when I file the motion, we're in front of the judge, we usually get about 45 minutes, okay, of which I get 20 minutes. It is going to be like a full major trial. You have to go in with that mindset, because 90% of the time circumstances don't change enough, so your temporary order actually becomes your final order.
Settling out of court is your best bet.
It really is, because you have the most control over the terms, and you can do things that the judge wouldn't otherwise consider in court.
So this is a good one. And I hope that people don't do this, but I'm thinking people have become a little bit further along than this. But what if somebody doesn't really know where their spouse keeps their bank accounts or their 401ks?
Absolutely. So I get a lot of that. People don't share accounts any longer. I just need you to be aware of where your spouse works. I can issue subpoenas directly to the employer. That's like a gold mine, right? Your employer is going to share like what the salary is, when was the last promotion. Sometimes I get lucky, I get like, the last 4 digits of a bank account where it goes into direct deposit. So that's really the beginning of the paper trail for me. And then we can also do discovery. We ask questions. We get a lot of very insightful information, and that just basically gets the ball rolling.
So this is not a fast process. This is something that's going to take time, and you want her to take that time to make sure that you've got all the information that you need to make it fair. That's probably the best way of saying that. But also to get in front of it. She's saying get in front of it. Get that information to her so she knows exactly where everything is, what's going on, what she can do so that it doesn't.
I'm just going to say one thing. I know that divorce or custody is super emotional, and I understand that. But again, if you're coming to me and asking me to serve as your therapist, I'm more than happy to listen to you. I know that there's a lot of emotion going on. I know there's a lot of behind-the-scene narrative that you need to share with me. But at the end of the day, if you really don't give me the documents that I need, that the judge is going to look at, and I mean bank statements, I mean mortgage statements, I need credit card statements. If you have a personal loan, I need that document. That's what I'm talking about, because that's really my job, to help you organize that and get in front of it, not let the emotion override you.
This is a big one. Let's talk about cheating spouses for a second.
Right, so everybody wants to tell me about their cheating spouse, and I often have to tell them Arizona's a no-fault state. When I say I'm not interested or I don't want to spend time talking about that, it's because the judge is going to cut you off. It's not relevant. Now, if you have a spouse that started cheating on you, and there's a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and there's like a criminal history, there's a lot of purpose to that, because the law does require that we understand who is going to be in those children's lives. That's when I take a step back and I say, tell me about who that new significant other for your spouse is. But if you are divorcing somebody and there are no minor children, I know it breaks my heart to have to tell people, but that's not where I want to spend your time, right? Because again, the judge is going to say, there's no legal bearing, it's not going to make a difference on how we divide the assets and the debt. It really doesn't come down to who was cheating on whom and for how long.
Exactly, so she says, let's get in front of it. Number one, when are you starting those classes?
Yeah, so I'm gonna start them in January.
So January, and let me tell you something, folks, everybody who is listening, or if you're getting married, please, get yourself one of these classes to find out what, I'm sure you kind of scare them a little bit because, you know, but it's truth
No,
is in there.
It is. You have to go in with your eyes open. I would rather have people say, look, you know, have an honest discussion with your spouse about how you're gonna handle money. I think we're all adults, like Dan said previously, I respect your audience, we're all adults. You know, people ask me, what leads to divorce? And I crassly will say sex and money. If you're not both savers, you're gonna run into problems. If, you know, you're running out of money, that affects other parts of your life. You know, you can see how that goes. So the class really teaches you to think about what it is that you need to discuss with your spouse up front. Are you a saver? Are you a spender? Whose 401k are you gonna dip into when you wanna pay off that car, right? What are the smart decisions? Only you and your spouse can answer that, but I think a lot of people who make the wrong decision make it because they come to me and they say, well, my spouse told me that it was for like tax reasons. That's ridiculous. Taxes have nothing to do with how you build your marriage over the long haul.
Now, we've got our lines open here, and I'm gonna let everyone call throughout the rest of the show. It's for a 1-hour virtual consult, and you can call in here. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. She works valley-wide. A lot of people do virtual consults with you.
Absolutely.
And we've got our lines open here for everyone to get entered in to win that. Whatever you're thinking about, any questions that you might have. She also offers a free 30-minute phone consultation as well. Her number is 480-397-2261, or you can also text her at 520-355-4483.
Thank you.